Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Patches of Greenery. My name is Vera.
My name is Ryan.
And I'm Yvonne.
Okay, so today's episode we're going to talk about our first shift as nurses in the UK and how it was for all of us. So we can just describe how our first shifts were as nurses in the UK.
You want to go first, Yvonne?
I think I always go first. I go first.
First shift as a nurse in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know where to start. I think meds. I was nervous getting into work. That's the first thing. Getting into work, I was nervous. Because I wasn't sure exactly. I mean, you had the shadowing and all of that, but it was still scary to know that you are the person.
You're now responsible.
I'm now responsible for everyone inside the home. I mean, there was another nurse there, yes, but you're responsible for you and what you do, and running the shift basically. And I remember medication rounds. That was crazy. Although I've done it like to get the competency and all of that.
You've done it so many times.
Yeah, the first time actually not having someone there with you,
Yeah.
and you having to give the residents, and some residents can be difficult in taking meds and all of that. Some of them there were on supplements. Forgot that you had to get the supplements, so that puts you back because you need to stop and then go and get the supplements and bring it to them. I think I finished meds around probably.
I remember.
12.
Not that bad. I think I finished just after 11.
After 11,
so
okay.
Yeah. But my manager came and she said, "You need to be a bit more quicker than that, you know." I'm like, it's the first time, so give me a little break, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, meds finished probably after 11, just after 11. And then we still had stuff to do in the diary. We still had the dressings to do. GP, calling the GP.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that becomes scary.
Yeah, calling the GP. But I call the GP, but I can't understand the accent and what they're saying.
Oh yeah.
And that was difficult and that was hard. So I had to give the phone over to someone else who could really understand what they're saying because I just couldn't understand.
Yeah.
But I think they had someone fell as well on that same day.
Day one.
Day one. Well done. Someone fell. So you have to deal with that and learning how to manage that. I had the nurse again.
Yeah.
She was there to help me go through that and managing that because the way we deal with it in the Caribbean is a bit different from
Tell me about it.
from the way was. I mean, you still check to make sure no injuries and what's not, the basics, but other steps that you need to take, your falls, whatever.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was scary in the beginning, but then I think it got easier as the day progressed, and so.
Good. What about you, Yvonne? How was yours?
Let's see. So I'm trying to really think how it was. So I got my nursing license. Obviously, you get put on a shift, and I was meant to shadow a nurse that day. I think before 10 o'clock, she got a call from her daughter's school. Her daughter wasn't well, so she left. And I was on my own.
Oh no!
But
day one.
Yeah, day one. But the good thing is, the manager, the deputy manager, I think he was deputy manager, and another lady that worked in the home for a long time. They'd all been there for a long time. They were like really good, and they pretty much held my hand and called to the GP. It's fine, somebody else did that for me. So yeah, and the good thing is, obviously, it wasn't a completely new environment. I'd been giving medication before, so then my round was definitely not that long. As long as yours. Residents, I'd known them for a while, so that was the easy part. It wasn't that scary, apart from knowing that I am by myself. But other than that, I think I did all right.
Interesting. For me, I think because I was coming to a different environment in terms of I was working as a theater and as a scrub nurse, so we don't really have that. We don't really spend a lot of time with the residents and with the patients at that time because it's just them going to the theater, doing your stuff in theater, scrubbing all that, back to Paco and all that. But now you're in the medication round. You're like, it's so different to be honest. Because so I think for me, I was like Ryan. Yeah, it took me a long time giving the meds. Like you're trying to think of all the rights of medication. It's in back of your mind. This is your pain. You need to be very careful.
You have to
You don't want
protect
to,
it.
yeah, you don't want to
Protect
a
it.
medication error. So I'm like, right patient, right dose, right time. Like I took time. I was reading the box, the serial number, the expiry date, and all that. So that took me long. And then with the talking with the GPs, because again, my background, I was in a place where we used to talk to the GPs a lot, to the doctors and the anesthetists a lot. So that wasn't really hard for me, apart from the accent, because this accent, what, sorry, so I think that was something new, and
and them to understand.
Exactly, even for
as
them
well,
to understand, because now you have to put, because it's so different when you talk to them. You have to put this accent.
Yeah,
It's not that you want to put that accent. It's just because to make things easier for both of you. So you want to pronounce things the way they do,
They
so
will understand.
exactly the way they'll understand.
Capitate.
Yeah, and
sorry.
So I think that was so it wasn't as bad, but obviously it took time because you had to learn and just to adapt to their ways of things, because nursing homes, they work very differently from hospital settings and all that. So so that was for me.
And obviously resident of the day as well.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Yes. And you have to do the resident of the day.
I did not know for a long time, because where I worked, that was not a thing. So that only happened after some experience, and then moving to a different job and finding that there's somebody of the day.
Resident of the day, I know it's so different. Yeah, I think for me that's why I'm like, it was just a totally different thing, because I'm coming from, it was, so I just had to learn and just adapt to the new ways. So now talking to the relatives was okay, because I was used to talking to relatives even on the other side when I was still at home. But it was different, but we just adapted at the end of it.
Like you said, talking to the relatives was fine. GP, the only why it was a bit for me, because it's just the
communication aspect of it.
I just had to give it to the other nurse.
To be honest with me, I had moments when I was like, can you just speak,
I had people calling for me on my behalf.
Can you speak to them? They're like, Vera, you need to know. I'm like,
I can, but I
just talk to them.
Just save time.
So I understand that bit. Okay, also let's just take it back again. Like, what was your expectations when you went to a nursing home, or when you went to the first day of work? Expectations and the reality, like in terms of what you saw, probably the building, the staff, the residents, the uniform, and so like, what was that for you guys? Because for me,
it was surprising. I won't lie. It was very strange, where you watch medical films when you're back home, and you never get to see a care home, really, when you think about
honest, you need to have more. They need to have some films.
Or even if you see if you see such a scene,
exactly, Netflix,
if you see such a film,
please recommend.
There's just a cup of tea being handed over to somebody who is very able, and nice, cute conversations being had. What do you think about it? So to come here, and then the whole medical setting that you've become so used to this, and it's like a very routine kind of arrangement where 8 to 9 o'clock is this. After this, you're checking vital signs. After this, you're doing the doctor's round. After this is that, and that's just gone.
So true.
That was all gone. You come in and you find the routine. The morning routine is there's medication involved. There's people getting ready and going to the lounge or getting ready for activities, breakfast trolleys going here, there. That was very unusual. I won't lie. Then what else was strange?
like you said, you mentioned doing the vitals every time.
Yeah.
I remember trying to go and do vitals.
Where's
What's the purpose?
what
of
did we
doing
call
vitals?
that thing? Cardex. What was the
That was
Cardex?
Cardex
Yeah.
before, yeah.
Cardex is where you got all their charts. Like
Yeah.
there's no charts.
There's no
No.
charts.
You'll find turning charts. You will find hydration charts.
No, input and output, the fluid balance, nothing.
It was very, very strange.
And then because
Yeah.
we do like vitals, we do once a month or when needed, when
when
someone
needed,
is
yeah.
polio or anything. And now you're at a point where you're like, okay, oh no, we don't do
yeah.
that
So
here.
so
Yeah, we don't.
what's
Because-
my job here?
because that's
Yeah.
because that's their home.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think that's one thing
Yeah.
that I had to understand. Like, this is their home.
yeah.
It's not like
Working
they're
in someone's
yeah.
home.
Yeah.
It's not like they're passing by. You know, in
No.
hospital you come to feel better and then go back
and
home.
Yeah, true.
But here, this is their home. So you won't be at home checking your vitals after every 2
Right,
minutes,
No,
after
right.
every 2 hours, unless you know.
Yeah.
So I think that was one thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's what my manager actually said.
Yeah.
This is their home,
Yeah.
you know, so there's no reason for you to be doing they're not acutely
Ew,
Ew,
you know,
no.
These are
they
chronic
live
illnesses
here.
they have, and
Yeah.
yeah.
and-
Yeah, so like it's true. You have to really get that idea. Of,
Yeah.
I am working in someone's home.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's what really helped
They're
me, to
not
be honest.
necessarily in a hospital. You are
Mm,
still their nurse and all that, but you are looking after them in their home.
yeah. I think that really changed my perspective after someone told me that, and then it's
Yeah.
like, okay. I think one thing again I can say for me, I think it's the uniform. One thing, this uniform thing. You know, back at home in Kenya, the matrons are the ones who wear the uniforms that we have, the
That
dark
we
blue,
wear,
navy
yeah.
blue tunics. So I think for me, I was like, you know, we had that. Not really. There's just a friction, but not really friction, but the matrons. There's just something about the matrons.
The dark blue.
The dark
when
blue.
You see the dark blue
So I was
walking
like,
around.
oh, I'm just feeling like that attitude of the matron when I'm wearing this uniform.
back.
Let's come back
Yeah.
Calm
here.
down.
So I
Yeah.
think for me the uniform, and then the residents, actually, the way we've said it, this is their home. They're
Yeah.
not patients.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that I
Yeah.
had to be like, these are not patients. You know, there'll be some are sick and all this, but this is actually their home. So
Yeah.
at least caring for them from that perspective. Yeah. So
The whole home as well. I didn't expect, or I didn't know what to expect when I walked into it,
Yeah.
what it would look like,
Mhm,
and all of that.
And you
And that-
find bedrooms.
Bedrooms and a salon, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
mm.
this is new.
I know. It's new. They have a chef.
They have a
Full-
chef.
Yeah, they've got a chef.
They got a chef.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Mm,
okay.
mm.
A big lounge,
Yeah.
a conservatory.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even know what a conservatory was before, because we
Cool.
got no conservatory really.
Yeah.
Conservatory who?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just the
yeah,
difference.
it's just so different,
Mhm.
so different. I was saying it's a home, but it looks like a hotel or something.
Yeah, it's like-
Kind of.
Yeah.
I think we've covered, like, even in terms. I was going to ask about the communication challenges, but I think we have answered that when we were speaking about
that
it,
even
talking
till
to the courts.
date,
Yeah,
I think I still have those
Yeah.
challenges where you have to adjust your tongue
yeah. I
and
think
swallow some words and this,
Yeah.
that.
I think the thing about that, because most of the time you have to give the address, like where you give us the address. I had to learn Alpha Tango.
That alphabet.
I had to know these
Listen.
things because I'm like, oh, the postcode is. I won't say it because of whatever privacy.
Yeah.
But they'll be like, did you say? What? I'm like, yeah. So I have to be like, Papa. I have to be like Delta. I have to be,
Dude,
all
I'm
these things.
speaking English.
I'm like-
Can you not hear me?
I think I was on the phone with, I don't know if it was ambulance or
Yeah.
someone,
Yeah.
some outside professional,
Mm.
and he's rattling off Papa Alpha this and what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And the thing is,
I
everyone
had
just thinks
I had to learn
everybody
Tango.
knows this.
I had to learn
I'm-
Tango and Papa.
I'm saying, I'm giving you the address. What are you talking about? November and Tango. Who are these people? What?
I
Who
remember
is Alpha?
I'm like,
Who's Alpha?
What
I like
is
to
Alpha?
say, Papa, okay, and then you're like, oh, Oscar,
Yeah.
Oscar.
Mother.
So they
Because
say
it
I
was
don't
mother.
even know all of
Because
them.
when I say my O, they're like, what? Sorry, what? So I had to learn Oscar
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Tango
yeah.
and Papa and Delta. So
And
now
then
there's
even if I don't know exactly which word is used for
I
that
know.
letter, I will create my own.
November. Then
M for mother. M for
for
mother.
mother. Did you say for mother?
Mango.
Mango, Tango. You go. I was sounding like military. I was so like Papa Tango Delta.
F. for fresh.
For fresh. What?
food.
But even if you say you're fresh, they'll be like, what? So you have to get the papas and the deltas and the tango for
And
it
the
to
foxtrots.
Foxtrot.
Foxtrot.
Yeah.
Ah.
What's Foxtrot? F.
F. Yeah.
No. Oh, Foxtrot.
I had to know. I had to know my address with those things like tango and papa and delta. I had to know about them. Yeah.
Foxtrot.
But did you feel like assisted like when you were in your first shift? Like were you shadowing someone? Were there any induction? Or how was that for you guys?
Yeah. Well, we were working as pre-reg nurse, so you still had to do your medication rounds before being shadowed and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but on that first shift, yes, you had a nurse there to guide you and help you.
Oh, okay.
And the manager, she was a nurse as well, so
That was
it wasn't
no, okay. Good,
bad.
good. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same idea. As much as the nurse that I was meant to shadow left early, I still had people in the building that knew their stuff.
Yeah, and they
they've
could
been
assist
there
you.
forever. They were very helpful.
Great stuff. I think I can ask about the emotional impact of it. Like, how was it for you guys emotionally? Because some days it was really draining. Like, that even if not the first day, but probably that the first time, like
just
the first
dealing
week.
with firsts.
The first. Okay, I may go and say. I think for me,
you go first.
Because we're working in a dementia home where I was before, and I've never experienced anything like that. Because to be honest, like it's just grace that carries you with the residents with dementia. Because you have something they're living with, you have to go to their reality.
Yeah.
I think that's the very importance of even having those training just to understand them. Because even as much as you have at least the training will introduce you and give you the knowledge of what to expect. Because that was something like in Kenya, to be honest, back in Kenya, I've never even probably have encountered people with dementia, but we don't really have a formal diagnosis at that point at that time. So,
or is it? I don't know. It's because I think back home, I don't know how you guys is. We don't have care homes.
Yeah.
So everybody looks after
their own.
So you never really interact with.
But
certain.
I was private, so that was my thing. So one of my main residents that I was looking after, he actually had Alzheimer's. So I had some experience. But to my knowledge, I don't remember it being taught much in
school as well.
College or whatever.
Yeah.
But I had some knowledge of what it is and how to manage those people who are living with dementia
and all that.
So it wasn't too bad for me coming in and being in the home with
me. Was just
I think that one took everything from me. Oh my God, that resident, God bless her, but it was just understanding that this is who they are and it's for us to care for them in their level, to live in their world and all that. But it was draining for me. Like I remember I was going home and I'm like, what is this?
It's like if you don't have patience, go ask somebody who sells this patience and buy a lot of it. You need it.
I think that was really straining for me. I think it made me like question like my choices, like why am I here? And all that. But
where you thought you were compassionate before, you decided to query your compassion.
But it just takes time. Like it's demanding emotionally because you're repeating the same thing over and over again, and just living in their world, living in their reality at that point. So I think that was something for me that took time for me too.
And it's hard where you have to kind of understand that this person is not doing it deliberately. They are and will, and they can't.
And that's where the training comes in.
Yeah, that's where the training comes in.
Yeah.
I think that was for me. That was emotionally draining for me.
Dealing with death challenging. I think it's because I worked in a ward where it was it was a small private hospital. It was medical, surgical, and she just used to people coming in get better and they go. Yes, people would pass away, but you'd see them really ill, and it's the point where you've treated them whatever, but then you come here in a care home and these are people that you become used to because they live there. That's their home. You get connected to them, and then there's the whole idea of oh, the elderly now, and everyone's in agreement that nothing else can be done for them. And I was like, but why can't you treat them? Just treat them.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
send them to hospital, give them IV fluid, something. Just treat. And then no, we need to discuss about keeping these people comfortable and making sure they have a good unalivement. I'm not sure if we're supposed to say the D word. Yeah, so that was, and it took me a while to realize, wait, even in training, that was our thing, to maintain, preserve health, or promote a good unalive.
Yeah.
D word. So then I was like, oh, so that is us. This is the promotion part now, where and having that discussion with family and saying, okay, listen, this is what's being decided, and looking at your mother, father, things aren't looking, that conversation was hard.
Also, yeah.
I used to cry. I won't lie. It was like, you made me a witch.
Because back at home we don't really discuss about death as much. I think probably nowadays people are, but back then it was a bit, even now it's still a bit more that.
Yeah, it's like you're telling people to be accepting, like this is it. Let's sort it out. Let's make plans. What do they want? It was that was different for me.
So your mindset now has to change because of that as well. Because like you said, Vero, we don't really discuss that back home.
No, it's,
you also said our mind is, keep this person going.
Treat, curative purposes,
To come here and then you hear, oh no, we just manage the symptoms of the process of, and just keeping them comfortable as possible. Yeah, that was the hardest part to get over.
I was like, you people are evil.
You
evil people. How?
I remember when I think one of the residents, I remember, she was approaching end of life, and then I'm coming there with I want to check their vitals and all that, and the manager told me, no, Vera, don't. You're even causing them more distress. And I'm like, I just want to know. And then she asked what was the purpose of that? She's approaching her end days and all that, and even if just to be there and watch and be like, okay, comfort now is the key. So yeah.
So just like a little message. So people living with dementia, you have to be a bit more kind and understanding that they're not doing these things because they want to do them. They're not evil or they're not spiteful, but it's just that they can't.
They're not possessed.
They're not possessed. No. It's just that they can't control these things.
Yeah.
So just be patient. Be patient.
And it's not just dementia that we look after in care homes.
No, it's not just dementia, but that is a big part of care home.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I think that's it. Do we have anything? It's really what do you want to say? So what do you know now that you'll tell? Let's say you'll tell your first day self.
I don't know
what will you tell yourself? Like what do you know now that, or what you wish you knew, something like that before?
To be honest, I don't know why I would tell my first day self.
Just keep, I think for me I just say just keep learning. You know,
like you got this.
You got this. Keep learning. You know, it's a new thing you're starting.
Yeah.
So give yourself grace. New beginnings. Yeah, give yourself grace. It'll be okay. Yeah, because at least you'll be okay. Because
you'll be fine.
Because we're still here now. You know, we can look back even now. We don't even remember what we did, but just taking that day at a time and just learning and be open-minded. I think Ryan said one.
Yeah, even now it's not like it's easy sailing. Some days are hard. Some days are challenging. But it's a job. We love it. Or do we? We love it.
I love my job.
Yeah.
I love my
job. Okay, guys, we've come to the end of our episode. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell others about this channel. It's the only way to make us grow. And if you have any...
Yeah, because we plan on growing.
Oh, yeah, we are growing. Yes, we are growing. Share the video with your friends and your relatives, anyone you know. And share with us how you experienced SOA when you first worked, not even nursing homes, even if it's in hospital, anything that
anywhere,
really, yeah. And see you on our See you in another episode.
See you next time.
See you next time.
See you
See you the next episode.
See you
Yeah.
next episode.
We'll see you again.
All right. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.